Hello, I'd like to welcome you to Grade 12 University English. My name is Mr. Chasmer. I will be your English teacher for the second half of the semester, starting after March break. I wanted to take a little bit of time to walk you through the independent study assignment because it is a pretty involved assignment with many different steps. First of all, our first step early on in the semester is we're going to pick one of the ISU novels that we've got posted on the Moodle. It's a whole bunch of different novels. Each of them are nonfiction, and you're going to pick one that is of interest to you. They deal with all sorts of different social issues, but they all have that in common. They deal with social issues. Over the first few weeks of the course, you're going to be completing a series of Moodle posts. The Moodle posts will be opened up at the beginning of the week and then closed at the end of the week, and you'll be responsible for completing that post in that week. At the end of the week, it will close, and we will move on to the following week's post. Please be very careful that you get all of those posts in because after the post has been closed, it won't be accepted. So week one, we'll be looking at the novel and doing a critique, discuss the strengths and weaknesses of the novel using your literary terms. You'll talk about some of the emerging themes, some of the emerging topics. Week two, you'll look at possible research topics and themes that you may want to consider for your ISU, and so on and so forth. For each of these forum modules, there's an explanation about what is expected in the post. This assignment is called an inquiry assignment. Basically, what an inquiry assignment is it's a task that is based around a question. So when we read a book, we generate questions. For example, if we've read Three Cups of Tea, which was on the reading list last semester, we may come up with a question, why do women allow themselves to be the targets or marginalized in some societies? So basically what we do is we formulate inquiry questions, and then through our reading, through our research, through our analysis of our nonfiction, we try to come up with possible theories or possible answers. So naturally, our first step is going to be picking our novel. We'll choose one of the novels. There will be a limited number of people per text. It'll likely be 4 or 5 people per text. And then you're responsible for finding a copy of the novel. So you can find a copy at Chapters or Indigo. You can find a copy at a used bookstore. You can find a copy at the library. Many of these are newer books, so they may not be as readily available as older books. Step two will be the online discussion or the forums that'll occur over 8 weeks. Um, it, 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 it says discussion. It's not necessarily a discussion per se, as it's more of a posting of your ideas, although we will open up the forums for discussion. Step three will be looking at a research topic. So once we've read our first novel, which should be in the first few weeks of the ISU process, we will pick a research topic that is based around the book. Step four, we'll pick a multimedia text. So this could be a feature film, a documentary, a talk or a lecture, a TED talk, or some other multimedia text that brings in a different perspective to the topic that you're looking at. Step five, we'll narrow down the scope of our research and we'll define specific inquiry questions that we want to focus on. We may start out with several to begin with, but then refine it down to likely 3 and then eventually one main inquiry question. Step 6 will be our second book. The second book doesn't have to be nonfiction like the first. It can be a fictional text, but it should explore similar questions, similar ideas as the primary text. So we need to pick a book that is relevant to the social issue that's being discussed. Step 7 is going to be student conferences. We will do 2 conferences together. One will be done online, where you're going to essentially post a plan of what you'd like your ISU to cover. And then the second conference is going to be a face-to-face conference where you essentially pitch your idea. Step 8 will involve conducting research. Generally, we go to the York University Reference Library and we do our research. For this assignment, since this is an academic assignment, we use completely 100% academic articles. We may use some evidence from the internet, but we want to pull in legitimate academic sources with authors. Step 9 will include an annotated bibliography, an outline, and a slideshow. And then step 10 will be, this will be at the very end of the semester, a 15-minute TED Talk, which is a live speech that has been planned and delivered in front of your colleagues or videotaped. Within the next couple of days, I ask you to look at the novel list and decide which novel you want to pursue for your ISU. And there's a form that you need to print out and then bring into school signed by your parents, just saying that they know that you're reading this book and it may deal with some difficult themes. The ISU officially begins on February 25th. That is when the first discussion forum is open, and the first discussion forum post is Friday, March 1st. Please see the bottom of the Moodle for specific dates and details. I'd like to wish you all luck as you begin thinking about and planning for this major presentation. A few words of advice I mentioned earlier on. Please make sure that you keep up to date with your ISU posts. This is your final year of high school. For many of you, it's your final year, and it has happened in the past where students have fallen behind on their ISU, and it has affected their outcome at the end of the semester. So please mark the due dates in your agendas. Make sure every week you're doing your posts, because this is a major assignment, and the smaller components such as the forums are actually and the interviews and so on actually make up greater value on the rubric than the actual TED Talk itself. So without further ado, I'd like to wish you all good luck.